So my 16-year-old daughter went away this weekend for a birthday trip with her friends, and my husband gave her $200 in cash. Was it $200 in cash? $200 in cash for the weekend. Food, if she wanted to go buy something while she was there, because it was a 4-day weekend, and they were looking forward to this for so long. So we were like, here's $200.
Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing well wherever you are. If you're seeing me for the very first time, I hope you do consider subscribing on the channel. So in today's episode, I came across this video of a white mother who comes out and kind of seeking for some type of opinion on how you think about her type of situation. So her daughter, who is just 16 years, she was sent on a vacation to go and celebrate her birthday. She gives her $200, that is something like 700,000 shillings in my Ugandan money, and also gave her a credit card for her to just go enjoy. So it comes out that when they were at home, they kept on receiving messages from their credit card. The daughter was using the credit card literally to buy things. And when they call her, be like, why are you using the credit card? We've given you money. So the daughter replies saying that, Mommy, I am using the credit card to buy food because this money you've given me is just mine. So me as an African, honestly speaking, $200, when you convert it to my money, it's a lot of money. And of course, I think it can be enough for my birthday. Just a simple birthday, of course, depending on my budget. But when it comes to the US, a girl who is 16 years in this 2025, I feel like that money is really not enough. Because depending on the activities that she was going to do, I think that money really wasn't enough. So I don't know what you guys think about this video. Put it down in the commentary as we also watch what other people had to say about her situation.
So my 16-year-old daughter went away this weekend for a birthday trip with her friends, and my husband gave her $200 in cash. Was it $200 in cash? $200 in cash for the weekend. Food, if she wanted to go buy something while she was there, because it was a 4-day weekend, and they were looking forward to this for so long. So we were like, here's $200. About 2 hours into the trip, the Capital One goes off. Little notification. It says $12.96 has been spent. And so he looks at me and he goes, she's using that Capital One. I said, what is she using the Capital One for? You gave her $200 in cash for food, whatever, da-da-da. So a couple hours later, there it goes again. So that night we get on the phone with her. We're like, hey, what's going on? Why are you using our credit card? She goes, well, that's for food. I said, I don't understand what that means. That's for food. We gave you $200 for food, for fun, for a fantastic time. And she goes, oh no, food doesn't count in that $200. The $200 was mine. That's what she says. The $200 was mine. The Capital One is for food because you guys have to pay for my food. I think every teenager on this planet has lost their minds. Lost their minds. Absolutely lost their fucking minds.
I think that TikTok of the mom telling the story about how she gave her daughter $200 for a weekend trip with her friends, and the daughter's like, that's actually not enough money, Mom. I still need to use the credit card because $200 for a 4-day weekend trip where you're buying your food every single day, it's not enough. I feel like that TikTok needs to be played in literal Congress, and they need to read all of the comments to the Congress people so they're able to just get a better and fuller picture of the current economic state of the world. Because logically it makes no sense as to how come $200, giving your child as a parent $200 for a weekend trip, how is that not enough money? But sadly in this day and age it's not.
So my 16-year-old daughter went away this weekend for a birthday trip with her friends, and my husband gave her $200 in cash. Was it $200 in cash? $200 in cash for the weekend.
You mean to tell me you only gave your daughter $200 to go to Nashville with for 4 days and were surprised that the daughter was already using the credit card to buy her some food?
We gave you $200 for food, for fun, for a fantastic time. And she goes, oh no, food doesn't count in that 200. The $200 was mine. That's what she said.
Lady, you must have thought you were sending your daughter on a trip back to 1994, because who in the hell is able to have a fantastic time while only spending $50 a day? And that's supposed to include food, activities, and everything else. Food in Nashville is not cheap, especially after you factor in tax and tip. This right here was our brunch at Biscuit Love, and I spent about $20 on a biscuit and a drink. Assuming her daughter eats 3 meals a day, $200 is already not enough money to last her in food for those 4 days. And then you expected her to have money left over to buy souvenirs and go shopping and stuff? Please, what was she gonna get? Some bubble gum? And what if her and her friends wanted to do a spontaneous activity that was not planned for ahead of time, paid for ahead of time? Like, where was the money coming for that? And I see this lady set her location as LA, and assuming that's where she lives, I can only assume that she thought that her daughter wouldn't need as much money because she was going to a southern state as opposed to, say, New York. Even though you can have a nice budget vacation in the South, baby, we are still within the US. This is not Mexico, which is why when you go on vacation to not just Nashville, but really anywhere in America, you want to make sure to have enough monties with you so that way you can really enjoy your time there without having to worry about overspending or running out of money altogether. I'm glad her daughter had an emergency credit card on her.
$200 is not enough for nobody on no type of trip in no way, shape, or form, and that's just my opinion. I don't know if I'm too deep off in TikTok streets, so y'all on the same street as me, but a mom gave her daughter $200 for a birthday party that was going to be out of town. Now, this party was going to be a trip for 4 days. She gave her a backup credit card, but she told her do not use that credit card at all unless you really need to. Use the money that we gave you. Within 24 hours of the trip, they already noticed that the daughter was getting food off of the credit card. So later on that night, when their daughter called to check in, they asked her, why are you using the credit card? We gave you $200. The girl said the $200 is for me. The credit card is for food. And mom is really like, no, like we're going to have a big talk with her when she get home because the $200 should have lasted the whole trip. Me personally, I don't feel like $200 is enough for 4 days out of town on a trip with birthdays. Well, with a birthday, and you can't really do nothing with that. We in 2025, like $200 wouldn't even last a day because food by itself is like $60, $70 depending on what they doing. So I really feel like she should have gave her a little bit more if she didn't want her to use the credit card at all. But that's just my opinion. And then not to mention she's a teen. But how do y'all feel about this? Do y'all feel like $200 should get you through 4 days of a birthday trip out of state? Or do y'all feel like no, her mom should at least gave her, I would say $600 if she didn't want her to use the credit card? Let's talk about this in the comments.
The crazy thing about the mom that gave her daughter $200 for vacation is not necessarily that they gave her $200, because I'm not saying that $200 isn't a lot of money. What I am saying, though, is she said, and I quote, $200 to have a fantastic time. And I don't know where they went, but what I will say is if they went anywhere that's like a normal vacation spot, $200 is not getting you a fantastic time. And I just think it's kind of weird that she thought it would, because it's 2025 and we know like that's probably going to give her 10 meals at most for vacation with friends, and it's certainly not going to get you like anything outside of that.
It's a mom on here that sent her daughter on I think she said a 4-day trip, and the mom and the dad gave the daughter on a 4-day trip. They gave her only $200 for a 4-day trip for her birthday. $200 for a 4-day trip. Talking out of town. I guess she went to New York or something. 4 days, $200. Yeah. Wow. Just wow. And then not only that, she gets mad at her for using the $200, which is like $20, on food in New York. She said she gave her that money for a fantastic time in food. $200 on a 4-day trip. Oh, man.
FYP, and she was complaining about her 16-year-old daughter who she sent to New York City for her birthday. I guess she went with friends, and they gave her like $200 in cash to use as like fun money, spending money, but also gave her a credit card, emergencies, stuff like that. So like an hour into the trip, she gets a ding on her credit card. And then like an hour after that, she gets another ding on her credit card. So she calls her and she's like, what's going on? And she's like, I was using it for food. And she's like, no, that's what your $200 cash is for, like food. And she's like, no, like this is my spending money. You know, I'm using the credit card for food. Y'all, do you know how much food is in New York City? Like for 4 days, $200 will get you through maybe a day and a half if you're careful, if you're lucky. $200 will not get anyone through 4 days in New York City, let alone a growing 16-year-old. And then at the end, she's like, these kids are entitled, these damn teenagers. Like, no, your teenager's just hungry and doesn't want to spend her fun money on food.